Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How are we getting on? So, it looks like Bethesda have got a little Valentine's present for at least those of us who play fair anyway. We had a little bit of maintenance today. They've made a couple of little tweaks, most of it back end, but there's one very, very large issue that they've focused on that should be of interest to most of us, I think. And we've got a little bit of news regarding what's coming over the next couple of weeks, particularly next week. So, let's have a look, shall we? So, during today's maintenance, the primary focus was, as we can see, removing duplicated items, specifically things gained through exploits. So, we'll have a look at their forum post, that's the phrase. So, we've just completed some spring cleaning, enjoying the irony on that one. Tongue-in-cheek from Bethesda is always good. To rid the wasteland of many items that were created through the abuse of duplication exploits. Hell yes. So, these actions were highly focused towards a list of over 400 weapon and armor items identified as common duplication targets. That's quite a long list. Players who had multiple copies of any of these duped items, whether they obtained them using an exploit or by acquiring them from another player, will find all but one of each of those items have been removed from their characters. So that's awesome. Hopefully that should mean that a lot of issues that stem from this will be removed as of today. Particularly things with players who have been griefing, that sort of thing, and taking advantage of massive numbers of overpowered weapons and bobbleheads to generally make people's life hard. So hopefully they'll be turning the tables and having a harder life doing that, which is definitely good news. Power armor is exempt from today's item removals. We are actively discussing another wave of action to target these items in future. So I'm guessing there's some back-end reason for that. I don't know exactly. It's probably not as simple to pick out and isolate, I would guess. But, you know, they'd have taken it out straight away if it was dead easy to do. So, you know, it is what it is. Clearly, just because they've had one big purge, they haven't decided that's going to be the end of that. They're going to keep an eye on it and keep working on it, which is very good. That's what we want to be seeing. Additionally, if a player had multiple copies of duped items removed as part of today's actions, we also performed a follow-up search of their account for very large amounts of Nuka-Cola and removed those as well. So, yeah, Nuka-Cola has got pretty impressive healing properties in Fallout 76. So one of the changes from previous games. It's heavy and has other drawbacks, but in terms of its effect, it's pretty good. So I can see why people would be carrying a lot of that around in place of Stimpaks, especially as Stimpaks are so rare. So, finally, during our investigation leading up to these actions, we determined that less than 1% of all Fallout 76 accounts across all three combined platforms needed to have duped items removed. All three platforms? Oh, I see, yeah, Xbox, PC, and PS4. This means the vast majority of players did not possess multiple copies of duped items and have had 0 items removed from their characters today. So for the most of us, won't even notice. It's just the problematic 1% this is targeting, which is exactly what it should be doing. Cool. We're still taking aggressive action to eliminate exploits, duplication methods, and other bugs with every patch we release. If you believe you found an exploit or a player who is abusing it, please report that by submitting a support ticket. Awesome. So, big purge. Hopefully that'll create a better playing atmosphere for those of us who want to play fair. And for those who don't, I couldn't care less, if I'm honest. I have 0 sympathy. So, looking at today's blog post, we've got some upcoming news regarding the next patch and what Bethesda have got for us in the next few weeks. So, Inside the Vault, February 14th. Welcome back to Inside the Vault and happy Valentine's Day. Thank you very much, Bethesda. This week we've got details on a few more changes that are currently planned for release with patch 6, which will be next week. Cool, always good for more updates. Announcing upcoming Fallout 76 streams with the community team, fine, okay. And sharing more information about new game content we're introducing over the next few months. I was hoping for slightly sooner than that. I have to admit, as much as I'm loving this game, I'm getting to the point now where I've put enough time in that the game's starting to feel a little bit samey. I've got a few plans in mind to spice things up a little bit, do things a little differently. So watch this space over the next couple of months for that, so that should be cool. But definitely ready for new content. So, what's next? We mentioned our upcoming survival mode, which is currently planned for release in March for fans of PvP. Okay, so that's just around the corner then, a few weeks off. Probably a month or so, I guess. We will also be introducing new PvE content for those of you who seek adventure through quests, events, and other features. Cool, this is what I want to see. We're planning to do this through a series of weekly updates we're calling Wild Appalachia. Okay, this sounds interesting. Which will be our first big content drop of the year and spans the next few months. In addition to new quests, events, and challenges, always welcome, it will also bring new content to camps, crafting, and much, much more. Very much looking forward to seeing what they've got in mind for camps, despite the fact I've still got tons of stuff that I need to make. I think I'm going to have to bear this in mind for my next camp build and get something a little more geared towards making money fast, because I need to get some more plans in a hurry, I think. So, our 2019 roadmap, which we're currently looking to roll out later this month, will give you a broader look at what's coming in Fallout 76 with Wild Appalachia. Additionally, ahead of each Wild Appalachia update, we will share a more in-depth preview of new content and features being introduced in the game the following week. Okay, so they're going to keep the information regarding what they're doing coming. Cool. Wild Appalachia sounds interesting. I'm guessing it's going to be creature-focused events. Maybe, well, I don't know actually. Could be a lot of things. So, be interesting to see what they've got in mind there. Hopefully it'll be some fun things to sink our teeth into. I'm looking forward to hearing and more about it and, yeah, getting stuck in. Very, very ready for new content. So, a look at some of patch 6. So, last week we had a look at some of the changes that are coming in patch 6. Changes to Scorch beasts, things like that. So, that went over quite well, I think. We're looking forward to seeing what they're going to do there. But, patch 6 is anticipated to release next week, so we should be getting that then. That's cool. Simultaneous launch across all platforms. That's a change from what they've been doing recently. They've been doing PC about a week before to shake out the issues, and then going ahead with console launch afterwards. I'm hoping and guessing this means that they didn't actually have to make much in the way of changes for consoles between the PC release and the console release, so they must be feeling reasonably confident if they're doing simultaneous launches. Or there's something else in there that they haven't told us about yet, so we're going to they want everybody to have access to it all at once. So, what does it contain? So, stash limit increased to 800. That's another 200 on the top. That's basically now we've finally doubled it from where it started. That's cool. So we know this continues to be a big one. Next week we're raising the stash limit from £6 to £800. Like last time, we're continually evaluating storage space and discussing ways we can make improvements, but not at the expense of server stability. That's cool. I'm definitely ready for more space. I hit that limit. But it just encourages me, from my perspective at least, to sell stuff that I'm just not using. There's certain types of junk that I'm not using as fast as I'm getting it, which is cool. So I'm just nipping off every so often and flogging it for caps. But having a little bit more leeway is always welcome. So the M79 grenade launcher and the auto grenade launcher are now classified as heavy weapons. I know a few people who are going to get stung by this one. People who've focused their builds a bit more towards the M79. Who are going to suddenly find that their perk build doesn't work for it anymore. It's probably not going to make them happy, but I can see why they're doing it. They will now benefit from all heavy weapon perks except Heavy Gunner, because we believe it makes more sense for it to benefit from Demolitions Expert instead. Yeah, I agree with that, that's cool. Not immediately obvious, but it does have a certain internal logical consistency, so yeah, good. So, camp related, accidentally damaging another player's camp will no longer tag you as wanted. From our known issues list, players who accidentally shoot, hit, or disturb another player's camp will no longer become wanted and viewed as engaging in PvP. Instead, you must actively work to be malicious to another player and destroy their camp objects for it to be considered a PvP action. And then you become marked as wanted, and they're going to monitor it as they go along. So a few people have mentioned this one to me as well, that they'd definitely like to see a change in how things work, maybe heavier penalties and stuff like that. Which this is not exactly a heavier penalty. On the other hand, it does quite effectively mean that anybody who wants to be unpleasant is still going to be tagged as wanted, which is good. I don't want to see that particular feature being removed. Something I was concerned about with what they said in the known issues list. But those who just happen to get into a fight nearby to somebody's camp, or if you wander past a public workshop and happen to tag somebody's turret or something with a stray shotgun pellet or something, which has happened to me, then you won't immediately be tagged as wanted, which is cool. You'll have to actually destroy the thing, which, I mean, it could still happen, but it's a lot less likely. So I think that's a good and positive change. Like, best of both worlds there, that's good. Player icons now display more thoroughly in areas of the game. So once patch 6 arrives, hovering on a player on the map will show their player icon. That's the little Vault Boy face or Vault Girl face you can put next to your name. It doesn't actually flash up very often, as they pointed out, mostly only in the social menu at the moment. But now you'll see it a lot more often. So if you mouse over them on the map, or highlight them anyway, or if you go to a public workshop and look at their turrets or highlight a public workshop, that'll also show the player who's owning it their tag as well, which is cool. Or icon, rather. The quest containers during Feed the People on Path to Enlightenment now only accept quest items. That's good, because players have been somehow accidentally dumping stuff that they wanted to keep in there and losing it when the event ended, so good to see that's coming with the next patch, which again I said should be next week. That covers everything that we've got in these patch notes and regarding today's update to the servers. I don't know if I mentioned, but they also did some server stability back-end stuff at the same time, so hopefully there should be fewer disconnects from this afternoon onward. Obviously, they've said this before, and it's been a bit hit and miss, sort of a bit of a bumpy road. In general, to be fair, as a few people have pointed out and I've noticed myself, the state of the servers and so on have been steadily improving. If we compare it to launch in particular, the difference is night and day, really. But it's an ongoing process, and it's not as smooth as we'd like it to be, but it is what it is. As long as I keep working on it and it keeps improving bit by bit, the gaming experience should continually get better, which is good. But yeah, we've got a few more ideas now of what's coming up in next week's patch. I'm looking forward to seeing a bit more detail, seeing the full patch notes. Of course, I'll be doing a video on that as well. And yeah, it'd be good to get sunk into this new wild Appalachia content as well. This upcoming roadmap is something else I'm looking forward to. I'd like to have a clearer idea of what's coming and when it's coming. Hopefully, they'll be narrowing down dates and stuff for content for the rest of the year, which I'm definitely excited to see. Yeah, very ready for something new to get stuck into. So, I do hope that was informative and useful for you. Give you some idea of what's coming up in Fallout 76 over the next week or so. If you did like the video, you know what to do. As always, social media links should be popping up somewhere about now. And if you get the chance to catch up with one of the streams, should be streaming Fallout on Sunday night, hopefully. So, yeah, look forward to seeing you then. Should be good fun. Now, thank you very much, and I'll be speaking to you all very, very soon.